Rain hammered the pavement. A sea of black umbrellas bobbed. Stark Tower loomed above, cold and indifferent. Inside, the air hung heavy with grief. Pepper Potts, the woman who had brought light to Tony Stark's life, was gone. Tony stood apart, a statue carved from sorrow. His eyes, usually sparking with wit, were dull, reflecting the emptiness within. Not a tear escaped him. He had already cried an ocean inside. His Pepper, his rock, was gone, and with her, a part of him had died too. The ceremony ended. Whispers followed Tony as he moved through the crowd, a ghost in his own life. He had built his world around Pepper, her love a shield against the darkness that always threatened to consume him. Now the shield was shattered, the darkness closing in. Without a word, Tony turned and walked away. He left the mourners behind, their condolences unspoken, their comfort meaningless. He had a new mission now, one born of grief, and fueled by a chilling resolve. He would build a world where no one would have to endure the pain he felt, a world where Pepper's death would not be in vain. The remaining Avengers assembled in the cold steel and glass of Stark Tower's conference room. Captain America, Steve Rogers, the ever-stoic soldier, bore the weight of their collective grief on his shoulders. Thor, the god of thunder, looked uncharacteristically subdued, his usual boisterousness dimmed by sorrow. Tony stood before them, a hologram of the world shimmering behind him. Gone was the familiar smirk, replaced by a grim line etched across his face. He spoke, his voice devoid of its usual warmth. Pepper is gone. The world is a dangerous place. He unveiled his plan Iron Reign. A world under his control, monitored and policed by an army of advanced suits, a global shield powered by Stark technology. No more chaos, no more random acts of terror, only order, only peace. Steve rose, his face a mask of disbelief. Tony, you can't be serious, this is madness. The room crackled with tension. Thor, ever the diplomat, tried to intercede. But Tony was beyond reason. Grief had twisted his genius, turning his brilliance into a weapon aimed at the very freedoms he once protected. The world watched in awe and apprehension as Stark Industries unleashed a technological tsunami. Drones patrolled the skies, their metallic eyes scanning for any sign of conflict. Armored peacekeepers, extensions of Tony's will, enforced his law with ruthless efficiency. Harmony, a global surveillance system, monitored every corner of the globe, its algorithms predicting and neutralizing threats before they could materialize. Tony, clad in a new suit, sleek and menacing, became the iron fist inside the velvet glove of his new world order. Gone was the wisecracking playboy. In his place stood a cold, calculating ruler, his every action driven by a singular purpose, to prevent another Pepper. He justified his actions with cold logic. The world was not ready to govern itself, he argued. Only he, with his intellect and technology, could guide humanity towards a future free from fear. But beneath the surface, beneath the steely facade, a flicker of doubt remained. Was this the world Pepper would have wanted? Resistance, like a stubborn weed, found root in the cracks of Tony's ironclad world. Steve Rogers, unwilling to compromise his ideals, became a symbol of defiance. Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, her loyalty to Tony tested by his increasingly tyrannical actions, slipped into the shadows, her skills honed for a new kind of war. Sam Wilson, the Falcon, took to the skies, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in fear. T'Challa, the Black Panther, withdrew to Wakanda, his technologically advanced nation a stark contrast to Stark's dystopian vision. They were united by a common purpose, to dismantle Iron Reign and remind the world that true peace could not be forged in the fires of oppression. Their numbers were small, their resources limited, but they had something Tony had lost in his quest for control: faith. Faith in humanity, in its capacity for good, in its right to choose its own destiny, even if that meant embracing the chaos that Tony sought to eliminate. Years passed. Iron Reign tightened its grip on the world. Tony Stark sat upon his throne of steel, the world his to command. Harmony whispered its secrets in his ear, feeding him data, confirming his every suspicion. He had achieved his goal. The world was safe, the world was silent, but at what cost? The laughter of children was replaced by the hum of drones. The vibrant tapestry of human interaction was bleached by conformity. Fear, the very emotion Tony sought to eradicate, became the foundation of his new world order. And what of Tony? Was he still the man who had once sacrificed everything to save the world? Or had he become the very thing he swore to fight against? A tyrant, blinded by grief, his good intentions paved with the broken promises of freedom. The resistance, battered but unbroken, prepared for their final stand. They knew the fight ahead would be their most difficult, but they also knew that the future of humanity rested on their shoulders. They would show Tony and the world that true peace could only exist where freedom reigned.